Hey, all right, all right, all right. Let's go. Let's go. If I gotta be here, you gotta be here. That's how this works, Panther fans. Boy, oh boy, oh boy. Huh? I still don't know what to say. What did we see last night in the NHL? Oh God. A lot of games last night. The Bruins beat the Flames. That's bad. The Canadians beat the Panthers. That's bad. The Red Wings beat the Canucks. That's bad. The Sabres beat the Rangers. That's bad. The Hurricanes beat the Ducks. The Penguins beat the Devils. The Leafs beat the Flyers. The Preds beat the Islanders, which, yay. The Oilers beat the Jets. The Avalanche beat the Sens 8-2. Ottawa, boy, oh boy, oh boy, I heard the rumors. Oh my God. The Golden Knights beat the Blue Jackets, and the Wild beat the Kraken, and that puts us, at least we're not the Senators. That's where we are, Panther fans. This is getting bad. We are now 3 points behind the Sabres and Capitals for the 8th seed. We are 3 points behind the Sabres for the 8th seed. So, hey Simon, how you doing, buddy? Hope we get our players back. Yeah, it's getting rough. It's getting rough. Good thing for the Hurricanes last week. Hey, Colin, that's nice. So Colin says the Finns hired John Eric Sullivan. Aikman was a big advocate. Yes, I would have known that, but I was busy recording the video for the football channel. I'm still putting it out, but I even said twice, I said they probably hired a guy while I'm recording the video, so I'll add a subtitle to it. I'm not re-recording it. But yeah, so that happened. Hey, Real, how you doing? What's going to happen? So, Simon, I'm going to be live on Locals tonight for the Peach Bowl so that we can see who the Hurricanes are going to play next week. And then I'll have the football schedule out this afternoon. I got to talk to Kyle, and we got to finalize which football games we want to do. And obviously, the Panthers play tomorrow. Is it Ottawa tomorrow? Maybe we can get a victory. If we can't beat Ottawa at this point, just pack it in, boys. If we can't beat the Senators tomorrow, just pack it in. I mean, if you know if what's going on, if the rumors about Ottawa are true, if we can't beat them tomorrow, pack it in. And I mean it. Like, if we can't beat that team in that position, just good night, Irene. JC, we literally have a full beer league roster out on injury. We have a full Olympic roster out on injury. Who wouldn't mind their Olympic 5 on the ice being Barkov, Kachuk with Marchand and Jones and Kulikov? Who wouldn't be okay with that being 5 guys on the ice on your Olympic team? Not saying every shift, but that's a whole ass Olympics line just gone. Just gone. Hey, Real, stop watching the Canes games. They're winning. Oh, last night was fun, man. Hey, Dana. Shine says, I can't believe I'm paying good money tomorrow night to watch a bum AHL squad. Chucky better make an appearance. I know, man. I feel for you, Shines. Maybe Chucky will come in. But I don't know now with all of the stuff surrounding Ottawa right now. I don't know if Chucky wants to. If that's I don't know. I don't know anything about this season anymore. It's wow. Dana says that Ottawa rumor stuff is just AI because it just seems so far-fetched that it has to be AI. I don't know. I've seen it, and I've seen it on people's accounts that I would deem somewhat trustworthy. I mean, something happened, right, Dana? Like something happened. Like maybe the details have been skewed a little bit and all of that. But they lost, they were allowing 8 goals last night. I mean, something happened. So I don't know, man. If that's true, oh my God. Like just bruh is all I can't even say anything but bruh. Real says Sens games used to be so exciting with all the scrums, everyone going crazy over Kachucks, and now both teams are dead. Yeah. Craig says until they're officially out, they're in. I know. Yeah, Sens are all kind of fighty, right? Hey, Shines, it's your son's 11th birthday. Happy birthday. You're taking him up, brought 5th row tickets behind the goalie. Panthers shoot twice. Happy birthday. But I hope it goes well for us. I mean, obviously, I hope we win. But geez Louise, man. It is like the Panthers versus the Senators. It's like I don't know, man. It's like the zombies versus the old folks home. You know what I mean? Like the zombies got their team and the retirement homes got their team, and they're going to be out there on the ice with sticks and blades and shit. It's just bad. Al says, Jaws, the Ottawa rumor was total BS. The account had 27 followers, and people were trying to say Linus had ratted on Brady and Matthew Tkachuk. Well, now that part, I didn't see that. So maybe I should clarify. That I didn't see. That I didn't see. I'm just saying I saw the rumors. All I'm doing is saying I saw the rumors. And something is wrong in Ottawa. I think we can all agree that there's something wrong in Ottawa. Right? Like, Mark, there's something wrong. Don't know exactly what it is. We may never know exactly what it is until after the season or after guys retired. But something ain't right. JC says the team hasn't even had a dull practice with each other this season, and we're to expect them to be golden ready for the playoffs in a three-peat. Don't get me wrong, I want a three-peat, but let's be realistic. Yeah, let's be realistic. Kyle and I could be streaming. We might be streaming Lightning versus Sabres and Canadians versus Wings in the first round. Yeah. 5 people will show up. No, we'll have a good crowd. Al says, yeah, they said Linus told his wife all these other NHL players were also having affairs, and his wife told their wives. Like, here's one thing, Owls. Here's one thing that I would say, and you could clip this. I'm not saying the story is true. I'm not saying it's not true. But women, and this is not to knock on women, but there's a reason why there's the phrase, hell hath no fury like a scorned woman. If a bunch of these women had actually found out that this was going on, don't you think they'd have gone on Instagram or TikTok or somewhere and been outing the guys? If a bunch of women had found out that a bunch of their men were cheating on them, you think in this day and age, in this climate, those women would stay quiet? Let's let's think about it. I mean, something definitely is going on in Ottawa, but let's just extrapolate that situation for just a little bit. All them young women just going to stay quiet and they found out their rich husbands are cheating on them? That don't smell right to me. Dana says, my ticket rep is already calling me asking about renewals. I bet they are. Yeah, you're still trying to pay off all the hockey debt from the last 3 years. Yep. Sean says, if the rumors were true about Linus rattling, it's no wonder he split. He'd be a dead man. Right. I appreciate it. Yeah, Kenneth, you'll be there. You'll be there, right? Oh, boy. Hey, 305. Yeah, you're really missing Tarasov. The team does look pretty bad. We're missing a lot. I mean, we don't win that game with Marchand last night, so let him rest. It's getting ugly. It's getting ugly. Not sure, Simon. I still am working out some of the technical issues for the trivia. We're getting real close. We're getting real close. Danny says, I'm sure that they won't talk about it on the next Wingman podcast. Right? Jeez. Silva, I joined this stream in here. This is not to knock on women. And oh boy, here we go. No, it's true though, right? JC says, prenuptial, it's a beautiful thing. Dana says, if by chance they don't make the playoffs, it's going to be so weird again. We've gotten so used to them being the best team. Can't imagine it's going to be hard even to watch hockey for a little bit. Yeah, I know. I know what you mean, Dana. I know. Yeah. Yeah, I agree with you, Owls. Sure. Shine says, I certainly wouldn't doubt it's true. Rich dudes traveling with women at home. No doubts have some girlie in every city. I mean, that part I do understand. I'm just thinking that if the women heard, if a group of these women, 3 or 4 to wives and girlfriends in the same team had heard that had happened, I have a hard time believing that they'd be being quiet about it. If the girls were on Instagram going, guess who cheated, like, what would be their motivation to keep quiet about it? If I don't know. Maybe it's just me. 305 says, worst case scenario, we miss the playoffs. League doesn't want us to see us rested and help you in 27. It's rough right now. Yeah, exactly, Al. The only good news is the team should be in good shape next year. We aren't losing players like many other teams after the Cup. And that's true. I think the only guys that don't have contracts for next season are Nosek, Greer, and whoever's at 6D. Everybody else healthy comes back next year, and we've got our team. Canadian fans are saying that the Panthers injuries are an excuse. Montreal has several players injured. There's several, and then there's 8. And it's the quality of the players injured. It's not the quantity. Silva, I don't have an opinion on that just yet. I had just finished a video about the Dolphins season and everything before I started this stream. So I actually didn't find out about it until this stream. So I don't want to make an uneducated. I was kind of hope we'd get the guy that was with the Chargers, I think. So, but I don't know enough about him to really, let's hear what he has to say. Hey, Bex, how you doing? How are we feeling today? better than Linus Ullmark. Yeah, I saw that, Alice. That the Athletic ranked Florida as number 2 best American pro sports. Florida behind the Dodgers. It's good stuff. JC says, I still don't think healthy we win the cup with Petrie and Balinskis as a pair. You're forgetting Kulikov, though. You forgot Kulikov. That's Kulikov, Petrie. Shine says, actually, worst case scenario is missing while giving Chicago a really good pick. Well, I suppose so. Yeah, we quite literally have. Yeah, there's several, and then there's the best player in the league, right? 305 says, sooner or later, our fourth line is going to be our first. It's creeping. It's creeping that way. Bex, I don't know. I don't know if the Ullmark stuff is actually true. So Al says, what do I think about TSN reporting the Leafs are close to picking up Robertson? He's asking for more than Rantanen, and Dallas can't keep him. It wouldn't surprise me. It wouldn't surprise me. I think that Leaf fans would be very disappointed to find out that even with Robertson, they're not winning a cup. That's what I think. I think it would make the fans happy for a couple of minutes, and then they'd get really, really angry when they would realize that he's not bringing them a cup. Excellent player, but Toronto peaked. Now, would it improve their team? Excuse me. Sure, it'd make them better. But I'm not necessarily sure that that's exactly what they need. But they want to make the fan base happy, so it wouldn't surprise me. They also said the Devils are looking for a top 6 forward from the Panthers. I heard that too. And it's like I think TSN is trolling the way Marchand trolls. Like, why would the Panthers go trading one of our guys to the Devils? Like, you know what I mean? Why would we do that? JC says, I'm more interested in this season being just over to see what Zito does in the offseason. Wonder who he picks up on defense and for the fourth line. Don't be surprised if the fourth line is Schwint. I'd like to see him just re-sign Greer, to be honest with you. You know what I mean? But we'll have some. We got to know what Bob's number is going to be. Simon, the only thing I can predict about the Ottawa game is we better freaking win, because the shape that Ottawa's in, we need to win that game. So it says it should be Petrie Sabrango till Kulikov comes back. I felt bad for Sabrango last night. Dude lays out, blocks the shot, and the freaking puck just goes right back to the dude on his stick, pass pop. That he made the right play. I've had this discussion before with people. That's because when I first started, I was like, hey, why is Ekblad laying down? And then some people that played the game, I said, that's what they teach the defensemen. In that situation, they teach them, lay down, make yourself as long as possible, and block the pass. And poor kid, just nobody can catch a break on this team right now. Dana says, I'm still not ready to pack it in. I still feel like we can go on a run, but this is the first time I ever thought all year that maybe we won't make it, and I don't like the feeling. It's getting a little dicey. Dana. You know what I mean? Like instead of now being 3 and 4 points out of first, we're 9 points out of first against the Canadians. We're 9 points out of second with the Wings. We're 8 points out of first, our third with the Lightning, and they got a game in hand, like first, second, third place. And I don't know. And now the freaking Sabres won't lose. And the Panthers now, if you actually look, we have now the worst goal differential in the division and the third worst goal differential in the conference. Like every which way you look at it, it's just bad. Hey, Pacharo, yeah, we got the new GM. Susie says Canadian fans claim they have top 6 players injured. Who? And that's not even saying that as in the argument. Who are the tops? Who are all the players that the Canadians got injured? Yeah, exactly, Silva. Sabrango doesn't look amazing on ice. The upside is there. He ain't with Belinskas. Wait till somebody else gets hurt, and it's going to be a Sabrango-Bornfoot pair. You guys think it's bad now. It could get worse. Which, by the way, we got Petrie on the second pair. We got Sabrango playing, and we got Bornfoot called up. Can I ask you a question? Why did we draft Benning or Hovolka? Why did we draft either one of these kids? Like, are they that bad that we consistently just pick up guys on waivers and just skip them? Like, I'm going to go to the Charlotte site here because I was thinking this yesterday. And, like, I'm sure there's a reason, right? Like, I'm sure there's a reason, right? And, of course, in Zito we trust. All of that, that's fine. That's cool. But Michael Benning is just sitting there. And where's Horvolka? Is Horvolka even playing? Jeez, he's way down on this list. Is he even playing? Do we even still have Horvolka? Where the hell is he? I'm looking on the Charlotte roster. Did I miss us getting rid of Horvolka? Is he injured? Where the hell is he? Let me come back to the chat here. Did I miss something with Horvolka? Jason says we need to play Tarasov. Yeah, Bobrovsky needs a run, no doubt. Dangle may get his wish if Maurice gets fired. Who said? Not you, but who would think Maurice would be getting fired? Now, Michael, that's a good point. That's the word I would use. Is interesting that Bobrovsky hasn't signed an extension yet. I was kind of hoping. Beck says, there's some interesting coaching decisions. It's like we know we're F personnel-wise, but they don't want a chance putting in even lower players to see what happens because we need the wins. Right. So, okay. So, where the hell is Horvolka? The dude is like 8 foot tall. Where the hell is he? Why isn't he on the Charlotte roster? He's 6'6". Do we still have him? Yeah, over here it shows he's played 19 games for the Checkers this season. He's a +11. So when you look on the Panthers website, they've got Horvolka playing 19 games for the Panthers so far this season, or for the Checkers this season, and he's a +11. But when I go to the Charlotte Checkers website, which is notoriously iffy. Oh, there he is. Okay. So, yeah, Horvolka's played in 19 games, which is not all of them. and he's got 6 assists, and he's plus 11. And then Benning is over here with 3 goals and 10 assists in 31 games. And how bad can they be? Why do we can't call up anybody? I wonder if their waivers exempt. I wonder if it's a situation where if we call them up. Yeah, Horvoka's played. Yeah, he's played with Charlotte. And that's pretty good for a defenseman to be a plus 11 with only 6 points. That means that's got to be something where, I mean, I don't know. And I said we drafted him, but Horvoka's actually undrafted. I didn't realize that. But I know Benning we drafted, right? Benning we drafted in the 4th round in 2020. I understand he's not the biggest dude in the world, 5'9", $177. So, I mean, maybe that's got something to do with it. But then why draft the kid? Why draft the guy if we're just going to say, well, he's too small when we got all these injuries? I don't know. Maybe it's just me. Maybe he's just the guy that they just wanted for the AHL. Okay, so Susie's got the Montreal injuries. Anderson, Evans, Doc, Gould, Newhook, Lane, and not sure which ones are their top players. So is there anybody on that list that's remotely close to Barkov, Tkachuk, Marchand, or Jones? I'll leave that to you guys. Hey, thank you, Petrard. Thank you, bud. Much appreciated, buddy. Said, am I okay with John Eric Sullivan being the GM? I'm okay with the change. We'll just put it that way. I don't know enough about Sullivan to comment one way or another. I'm kind of going to wait and see what he has to say, which direction he wants to take things, who he hires, who gets hired as the head coach. But at this point, change was needed. I'm sure any of the guys that were on the short list, I'm happy that they didn't just retain Champ Kelly. That's for sure. I see what you're saying, Caleb. No, I think Maurice will stick around. I mean, Maurice isn't going to get fired. That's for sure. Anybody, and I don't mean you again, anybody that thinks this management team is going to fire Maurice, they need to check themselves into a psych ward. Anybody that thinks this management is going to fire Maurice needs to just go right. Just do not pass go. Just turn in your driver's license, turn in your vehicle registration, because you driving is assault with a deadly weapon at this point, and just go right to the hospital and say, I need medication, I need a psych eval, and just stay out of society. If somebody actually thinks that Bill Zito is going to call Paul Maurice into his office and say, yeah, you know what? Deuces, Paul. I understand some people hate the team, but, you know, that ain't happening. Yeah, exactly, real. Mike says maybe Bobrovsky is considering retirement. We had heard a few weeks ago that they had begun some negotiations. I'm sure Bobrovsky would prefer to negotiate after performing well. Right now, I mean, he's got to have like an 880, right? Bobrovsky's got to have an 880, right? 881. I mean, if you're 37 years old negotiating a new contract and you've got an 881, maybe his team put things on hold so he can prove he's still got it a little bit, right? David says, I still say if we stay within 10 to 12 points after the break and our guys make it back, the schedule is such that 10 to 12 game winning streak is definitely possible. Yeah, we're cutting it close, David. It's kind of what I said last night's recap. Like, at this, we've put ourselves in a position where now we have to have at least a 7, 8, 9 game streak, or like win 5, lose 1, 3 revolutions of that. Like, we've put ourselves in a position now. Yeah, Ulster, that too, Craig, right? David says none of their top guys were even comparable to the Cat situation, right? So JC says, I think Bob will retire. Just would hate for him to retire on this hill and not on top of the mountain with another cup. Huh. Oh, thank you, Kenneth. Last update I seen on Horvolka was in late November, and he was week to week with a lower body. Okay. JC says, sadly, Benning will never be put into the lineup. He's solid defensively for the AHL, but way undersized for the NHL. Yeah, you're probably right. Yeah, they're probably just trolling us, Susie. It's okay. Hey, look, it comes with the territory, right? Real says, I really hope Canada, excuse me. Sorry, guys. Real says, I really hope Canada doesn't win gold between Cooper and all the fans. The conspiracies get, but it's that way with every subject now, right? In terms of the internet. Caleb says, yeah, Montreal fans are really, really hard on us for some reason. We haven't even knocked them out of a playoff game and they hate us. Yeah, I don't understand the hate. Like, I would think that there'd be a little bit of, hey, thanks for knocking out the Leafs type of deal. You know what I mean? Like the enemy of your friend is your friend or something, whatever that is, right? No, the enemy of your enemy is your friend. Something like that. Like, I don't understand the hate for any hate from Canadians fans. Like, I understand maybe they're excited that they could be the team that could eliminate us. That makes sense. But usually you want to wait until you've won and then you troll. That you win, then you troll, right? Otherwise, what you do is you go, we want Florida, and then you lose. And then you get trolled. Usually you should wait. It's just, Susie says, Maurice is on record saying if you won 2 cups with a franchise, you were there forever. Right. SoFlo says, John Eric Sullivan just has a ring to it, in my opinion. Talking out my rear as a fan, of course, but I just love that name as our GM. Seems like a guy that would have drafted Justin Herbert. Caleb says the Turncoat Bruins fans have sided with the Leafs and Habs 2 against the Panthers. Yeah, look, everybody's going to enjoy it, right? It is what it is. Yeah, there's no way Paul's getting fired. JC says, I'm more upset with how Verhaeghe and Bennett have been performing. Without Barkov, Kachuk, their shells of what they used to be. Well, yes and no. Yes and no. And what I mean by that is when you have 2 guys on a line instead of just one, that really is going to draw the defense's attention. It puts them in a predicament. And so I kind of feel like Bennett's still the same player, but he doesn't have a Kachuk to draw the defense away from him. And then Chucky make a good pass. Verhaeghe doesn't have a Barkov. I mean, for crying out loud, right? Verhaeghe's playing with Bennett. And that's not the best usage of their skill set, in my opinion. It works a little bit with Marchand, but we've talked about it before, JC. There's a reason why we won 2 cups. And it was as a full roster, when you laid out Barkov, Bennett, Lundell, you're maximizing everybody's potential. Kachuk and Bennett are perfect for each other. You know, Lundell, Luosterainen, perfect for each other. And then you throw in Marchand, and it's like, but you start mixing those guys up in configurations where they don't belong, and then they look pretty bad. Owl says Maurice would be throwing away a great shot at a cup next year if he retires. I don't think he will, right? So Flo, in terms of prime Belichick and the football equivalent of Bill Zito. Well, I think I think with Ross on top, we would never hire prime Bill Belichick in the football equivalent of Bill Zito. Don't forget, we broomed Dan Campbell was that when we hired Flores, right? Al says, hockey guy is the one starting the Bob retirement rumor for a reason. It's Dangle that has always hated Maurice. I mean, that's wild. I get the hockey guy thing. I just don't know. But Bob is so quiet and so personal about things. I think we've noticed him a few times this year, both for the good and the bad, showing a little bit more emotion during the regular season. Like, was it last night? Last night, like one of the goals went in and he was laying down. And it was almost like I was worried for a second that he might be hurt because he kind of stayed down and they're like, oh, like in that position for a little bit longer than we normally see him. I think he's getting a little bit frustrated. Who can blame him? I mean, like last night as an example, you can't blame him for the goal where Sabrango lays down and blocks the shot. That's how it's taught. As soon as it's a 2-on-1, as soon as A passes to B, the goalie's going to start sliding to stop that shot. The puck goes off Sabrango's stick. It goes back to A. There's nothing Bob's going to do. And then the other one, Sabrango and Petrie both go behind the net. The puck comes out, and for whatever reason, Bob decides to kind of help it along with his paddle, and the dude just knocks it out of the air right back over his shoulder. I mean, and then the first goal was just a shot from the point, and it hit, I think it hit Greer. It hits Greer's stick and goes just directly, perfectly over Bob's shoulder at the last second. Like, nobody's stopping those pucks. Nobody. Unless you've got Cooper Black in net, who's just standing there at 6'10", 500 pounds, and the puck you just can't get it past him because of sheer size. Like, maybe he might have stopped that first puck, but I'm not banging the table for Cooper Black. Meg says, I hope Tkachuk comes back for the Sens now. Before I watched him after, I just think we need him on the ice at this point. And we do. And I'll say, I got a little bit frustrated with Chucky the other night. And, like, I get it. But, like, he could not have predicted that Barkov was going to be out or Nosek was going to be out. And so I think the idea for Chucky was he kind of felt like he could take his time a little bit. The team would get along fine without him for a little while, first few months of the season, and then he'd come in. And so the point there is that he did wait to have that surgery, and had he not waited, he could have been back a month ago. And so I think there's a little bit of frustration. I know I'm frustrated about it, but of course it's in hindsight. I think we all kind of felt like, that's okay, Chucky, rest. We'll be fine. And with a full lineup, I think we would be. Yeah, exactly, real. They're still mad our team exists in the first place. Yeah, the enemy of my enemy is my friend. Yeah. David says that enemy quote from an Arab prince who ended up getting his head chopped off. I'm scrolling to the bottom of the chat because I'm way, way, way behind. I apologize if I missed some. I looked. I'm like 7 minutes behind at this point. Craig, Chucky should have gotten surgery sooner than later after a week, like after the seat. What the hell do you want?
They want me to bring my ID to Rockwell.
What?
They want me to bring my driver's license and my Social Security up to Rockwell.
Oh, you're talking about right now?
Yeah.
Oh, I was wondering. Okay.
Okay.
Oh, so you're letting me know that you're leaving?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Okay. Sorry.
Oh, that's okay. I thought it was Kyle. That's why I said that. I thought it was Kyle. That's how I always greet him.
Okay, I'm gonna go up there and talk to them about getting on schedule and she'll.
Oh, did everything go through?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Good for you. Okay. All right. Love you. See you. Okay. Apologize. Eduardo says, what are we talking about? Why do you say Canada has no respect for Florida hockey? That's just I'm not sure. I'm not sure what's being said there. There you go, David. There you go. Are you talking about the Hurricanes? Yeah. Solo says, we knew this season could be tough with the injuries, but it's still hard to watch. Having a legitimate chance at a three-peat and having injuries derail that dream. Yeah, it's gone from bad to worse, right? Yeah, Kazuma, I was exhausted after that game. Normally, I stay up for a little bit. I do the recap. I have my food, and I'm up for about an hour coming down. Like, it was all I could do to finish my food and just like face plant into the bed. That game exhausted me last night, but in a good way. What's my first move as the Finns GM? Find Tua. Decide what we're doing with Tua. Find a sucker. That's my first move, Colin. Find a sucker. Yeah, that's right. That's the other thing, Susie, is Kachuk got married over the summer, so I guess he wanted to do that first before having the surgery and the whole thing. I mean, it's all hindsight, right? Sovlo says it still had a bit of three-peat hope, even with Barkov and Chucky out, but now that we're realizing that's not the case, we can't help but be a little bit shell-shocked. You mean like this team is actually human? Yeah. Who do I got for tonight's game between Oregon and Indiana? I was going to let the diehard Canes fans tell me that because I'm going to be streaming the Peach Bowl on locals. And so I was going to let the diehard Canes fans tell me who we'd rather play. I seen a few people preferring the Hughesers. So we'll just go from there. It'll be okay. Now, hopefully, as I had read earlier in the week, that the Panthers might move because they have a game against the Sharks at the same time as a national championship game. So hopefully they can move that game to be a matinee. So I would hate to have to do a double stream during the national championship game. That would suck, man. Come on. Zoomer says rumors that the Commanders and Lions reached out to McDaniel. And that's another good reason why Ross letting him go now, so that if he can get a job, he can get a job. You know what I mean? So, hey, Bucks, think the Panthers will win Saturday? I mean, we got to beat Ottawa with the mess that Ottawa's in right now. Craig says Oregon has a bigger backstory since Mario was their coach. The Hughesers are just a juggernaut. So I guess we would rather play Oregon. Goat Slayer says the Cats didn't lose to Montreal again last night. That's Cats' version of the replacements. Our guys are exploring their options in LTIR. Oh, man. It's gotten worse than I think we thought it would. And the thing of it is that, you know, there's starting to be a little bit of that separation there. I just didn't see it being the Sabres. Like if the playoffs started today, which they wouldn't, but the Sabres and the Penguins. Yeah, the Sabres and the Penguins would be the wild cards. It would be Hurricanes, Islanders, Flyers, Penguins, Canadians, Wings, Lightning, and Sabres. That is just that is almost a complete reversal. Solo says we're lucky that the East is still so tight still. All we need is a little win streak. We're back in contention. Jones and Marcy injuries have been the first hammer to swing the nail in the coffin. Yeah, losing Jones is, you really notice it on defense. I mean, Balinskis is doing what he can, but missing Jones. Real. What do you call it? Yeah, I'm a bandwagon fan, just like how he bandwagons the Panthers and fakes his recast. Yeah, is what it is. You know what I mean? There, I don't blame people that think that, because there's been so many new Panther channels that have just suddenly sprung up as soon as we're good, that I think people just assume I did the same thing. It's a bunch of imposter knocks wearing Cat's gear. Yeah. You, in terms of the Olympics, you're excited for the guys to get some rest until you remember half the team is playing. Like Reinhardt, it's just like the dude should be resting, man. Mike. Yeah, I just started watching them in 23. Yeah. Kelly says people think you're new because you didn't start streaming until the Panthers got good. I mean, not necessarily. I started streaming pre-games. I did a pre-game stream for every game, the President's Trophy season. So yeah, we got good, but we hadn't been good. In other words, I made the decision to start streaming then. And then the year after the President's Trophy, when we got Kachuk and all of that, that's when we started streaming every game. But yeah, I mean, the streaming finds a lot of new people, so they think it's all brand new. Oh, do I enjoy having the double games? It's got its pros and cons. We got to find a different way to have a setup, because every time Kyle leans forward, I can't see the hockey game because I got to watch that way. So he leans forward. I'm like, hey, I can't see when you're leaning forward. I got to tell him like 10 times. James says, we're the Bucks screwed in the division. They didn't fire anyone. That's got to hurt. Yeah, JC, you've been here since the Gabranson trade. God almighty. So have I. Mike says, it dawned on me last night how to cope with the Panthers losing. It's not the Panthers. This really is not the Panthers team that we know and love. It's not. I mean, you're not wrong. You're not wrong. I mean, like I said in the recap last night, I think I'm going to sneeze again. Pretty sure I'm going to sneeze again. Yep. Damn. Okay, woo. Okay then. That's two streams in a row. I don't think I've ever sneezed before on stream, and that's 2 in a row. What's that gotta mean? So Mike, yeah, like I was saying last night in the recap, it's like it's just not our guys. I lost my train of thought. Damn it. It was something I said last night. I was trying to make a point, and then I sneezed, and now the point is gone. And so maybe I'll remember it again. You know what I mean? No. Simon, you should just be able to follow. You should just be able to get to the locals page and follow us. I'm going to make another post. So you should just be able to click the link and find the stream that way. Yeah, Real says, I said on stream last night that our current top line was the third line in the playoffs, in the first playoffs with Maurice. It's a good point. That's a good point, Real. It really is. Yeah, that's a really good comparison. No doubt. Buck says, think the Panthers don't make it back to the Cup. Think Tampa taking. If the Panthers don't win, if the Panthers aren't going to win, and I'm a Tampa fan, I'm pretty pissed off if they don't at least win the conference. Let's go. How you doing? I'm more annoyed by the fact that the Habs thinking they're building a dynasty. Yeah, that's what Toronto thought too. I mean, yeah. But when teams haven't won in a while, right, it can become easy to convince, right? It can become easy to convince the fan base that it's happening this time. Just look at Dolphin fans. Fans across the league laughing at Ekblad getting his head shoved into the boards and said Florida wouldn't get a penalty for doing it. Did they even call a penalty on that play? Did they get a penalty on that play? Maybe. I'm not sure. If they did, I just don't remember. I'm not saying we didn't. Kazuma says, Jaws, did you ever stream before 2023? It's funny. YouTube never recommended me your channel until that season. No, that's when. No, well, the year before that's the year we started streaming every regular season, every game, the game. The year before, I did a pregame. I did like an hour pregame stream, the President's Trophy season. And then the first year with Kachuk and Maurice, that's when we started streaming every game. Solo says, I think Minnesota can win the Cup as the standings are now. They have a relatively easy path. Dallas, Colorado, Vegas, and Edmonton would have all beat up on each other before they would meet the Wild. Oh, well, right. Are you sure about that? Right now, wouldn't it be Dallas versus Minnesota? Right now, the Stars would play the Wild, I believe, because that's second and third place. Ghost there says, happy to know I found this channel during the Vegas Cup run. Found a channel that could display same grief coming from the standpoint of liking the team since its founding. I appreciate that, man. I wish I would have started streaming earlier, but it didn't work out. Caleb says, Montreal have to deal with their young guys possibly leaving instead of re-signing. Same issue for all Canadians teams. They're just starting and haven't had to deal with it yet. Yeah, eventually you have to pick and choose which guys. Yeah, I agree there, Bucks. If the Panthers don't win, I would expect Tampa to win the conference. Yeah, there's not. There was a bunch of us on Twitter back in the day, Ghost Slayer. They're still there, but it's hard to find the old crew now through all the new fans. Did I? No, I missed that, Colin, because I was doing the recap. That's the stuff. If you watch the recap, you hear Colin yelling in the back room, yelling, but he's calling the game. I lost my train of thought more than once. Caleb, if you think Hughes is, well, I don't know if Hughes is going to stay. But I guess it also depends on how the Devils do, right? So we did get a 2-minute penalty. Gotcha. Leshka says, things are looking bleak, but somehow I woke up feeling more positive. Things seem way worse than when they blew the 3-0 Cup Finals lead. Well, that was scary. That was like a whole Twilight Zone episode. Like, I couldn't believe that was happening. You know what I mean? Like, I didn't know I did know. I did at some point know because I knew the whole Fluffy story. But That was still a scary time, those 3 games. Right now, I'd have to say the best team in the East. I mean, right now, if the Panthers are healthy, if we got all of our players and they're actually healthy, I still feel Florida's the best team in the conference. But minus that, it's no question in my mind that it's Tampa that's next. Michael says Vegas has a lot of issues on defense and goaltending. Don't be surprised if Seattle upsets Vegas or Edmonton. Yeah, I mean, Vegas is what are they? 19-23, right? Like they got 12 overtime points. The Kraken are right there, 2 points behind them. That's something else, man. Yeah, Vegas looked elite last year, and now they're kind of phoning it in. Hold on a second. Lechka says it's the Montreal thing that freaking always annoys me. I'm going back to visit my family there soon. It's going to be so annoying. They know how big of Cats fan. It used to be that the Canadians fans, when we found them, would always say the Panthers were my second favorite team. It's not the same anymore. Which conference is better? Right now, I'd have to say the West. There's so much going on in the East where, I mean, does anybody really trust the Penguins or Sabres? You know what I mean? Like, I think Tampa's far and away the best team. If you put the Panthers over here, if the Panthers are like not in the playoffs, or we don't get Barkov back, or we're still injured, to me, Tampa should win it. Mike says, I think Montreal has reason to think they're building a very strong team. I don't know about dynasty. That remains to be seen. As you've seen, dynasty is tough. There you go, Kenneth. Why are we discussing it's the Sharks here, or not we? I guess you're trying to say they're 3-0 versus the Wild. They beat the Avs and Stars at least once. I'm sure they'll get pumped in the playoffs, though. Goat Slayer still feels like we can do it. Yeah, when you go to Montreal, just tell them 1993. Yeah, I agree with you, Alechka. And that's and the Flyers, they're going to have a 10-game win streak if they can beat the Flyers. And the Flyers aren't a bad team either. They're not a bad team. Let's just, how am I discounting Toronto? The Dangle gang thinks the parade is back on. It's because they're Toronto. I don't view the Leafs any differently than I do the Dolphins when they win a few games. You know what I mean? I mean, what is Toronto won? A few games? They won 2 games in a row. But sure, they could be in a playoff spot soon. They could make the playoffs. It could happen. But I think the Lightning would take them out this year anyway. Lechka says even in 93, Waugh carried them. Yeah, well, Waugh's on a different planet, right? Waugh was his own freaking galaxy. Dangle thinks they win the conference with Robertson and Stolarz healthy, but he hated Stolarz before he got hurt. I'm not so sure. I said I started the comment about Robertson. I think he makes him better. Certainly, he makes him better. But Toronto goes as Matthews is going to go. And if Stolarz comes back healthy, that could be a problem for sure. But I think Tampa. Let's go. Yeah, Marta's doing pretty well. Yeah. Yeah. JC says I give it a week before Leafs fans jump on Robertson and blame him for everything. Exactly. I mean, he certainly would help. I wonder what they'd have to give up. Right? I wonder what they would have to give up. But I mean, right now, you know, Tampa has a plus 34 goal differential. There's nobody close. Just nobody close. Maybe the Hurricanes. It just to me, it just comes down to trust. The Lightning have a Stanley Cup winning coach. They have a Stanley Cup winning goalie. They got guys on the team that have won the cup. And if the Panthers aren't around, who's going to beat them in a 7-game series the way that the Lightning are playing right now? You know what I mean? If as long as Vasilevsky continues to play well, I know Toronto beat them a couple of years ago, but the Lightning have regrouped. They've got some rest. If the Panthers aren't going to be there, you know. So Zuma says Panthers missing the playoffs, Tampa winning the cup. I don't think I can handle that. It's better than us making the playoffs, losing to Tampa, and then them winning the cup. At least that. Now, Lil J said, yeah. Lil says, Dallas or Colorado could wipe Tampa. Yeah. Now, some of the Western Conference teams, yes. But in terms of the Eastern Conference, you know, I'm just being realistic. You know what I mean? I'm just being realistic. Silva says there's a ton of Leafs fans down here, but I've never had a bad experience at Amarillo with any of them. They're plentiful and passionate, which is a bit annoying, of course, but they're allowed to cheer. Everybody's had different experiences, right? Caleb says age plays a huge factor in the playoffs for forwards. Not sure if Tampa can hang for a full run anymore. Maybe not to win the whole thing, but in the conference, that's just my opinion, though. So we'll see. All right, everybody. I gotta roll. I'm gonna make another post. There's already a post there. I'm gonna make another post as we get closer to game time. I'm gonna be doing the Peach Bowl on locals tonight. Now, Kyle might be there with me tonight because now that the Hurricanes won and we know we're going to be playing whoever wins the Peach Bowl in the championship game. So Kyle may be there, but we're gonna be we don't have to worry about copyright over on locals. So it's an experiment. We're going to see what happens. I'm not moving from YouTube or anything like that, but I just want to see how it works over there, how you guys enjoy it over there, and then we'll go from there. So the link is in the community post. I'll put another one out, and it'll just be kind of an experiment. Colin and I don't know much about the teams, so we're just going to be basically watching the game to see who we're going to win or who we're going to play and who we're going to win, because the Canes will win the championship game. No, if Kyle, I didn't want to force Kyle to do it because he does need his nights off, and we're going to be working Saturday and Sunday. But he said last night he'd at least come with me a little bit. Yeah, hopefully it's going to be a good game, Patel. I don't know if it can't top what we had last night. That's for sure. That was crazy. They almost blew that in the last 18 seconds. If they would have had one more timeout or another 10 seconds, that game might have had a different result. So that was wild last night. So, all right, everybody, thanks for hanging out. Appreciate all the love and support. And then I'll be live noon tomorrow for the normal situation. I got to close that window. Somebody's got gas running out there. All right, everybody. We'll see you tonight.